morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're jumping on a wee minute or two earlier than previously scheduled. We have a wee bit of a midweek deadline to catch up with. We'll have another MLS RTG video out later today. We'll be back live for a bit of reward opening tonight as well. And there's a bunch of you joining us live and loud. Thanks to everyone that is hopping on to the show today. Drop the likes. Oh no, Cammy Devlin out again. Oh guys, I'm at proper deadline day drama. As you can see, I am just in the door. I've had a little bit of IRL stuff to be running around with, and I thought I had all my ducks in a row ready to go, but if you guys are telling me Cammy Devlin is out, I might need to shuffle the deck a little bit. Let me know for you guys what you're up to this game week, what you've got going on. Are you in the midweek with me fighting in contender, or are you going, what the hell is this? Oh, that's a different game week. Or are you sitting this one out? 24 minutes ago, yeah, it does look like there is no Cammy Devlin, so we need to shuffle the deck, guys. We need to shuffle the pack. Now, I've got some really exciting teams for this game week. I'm actually quite high for it. We've come out of this weekend with 12 things. We're getting a card. I think there's a little crumb of cash somewhere. We've lost out on all the limited essence. We were set for 20. We're now set for none, which is a kick in the teeth. We've got a tier 2. We finished right at the tippy top of under 23s. Jeremy Frimpong has had an Opta adjustment up the way. We've had a few more bits of competition, so we're on 16th rather than 14th, but we're coming out with something which is great. Oh, you were asking, Boyson? Well, it certainly looks like it, and I'm glad you did ask, because I wouldn't have checked that. I think I'd have been checking his Hearts lineups. But I've got two kind of half throwaway teams ready to go out for the 230, cap 230 this midweek. Not really holding my breath on either one of them. Maybe Wyland Cyprian. No, I don't know. I think it's in season. Devlin's involved in. In All-Star, we're getting a super rare team out because Skorupski's got a game as well as all the Premier League players. This is probably the team I'm the most excited about. All-Star, unadulterated, anything goes. Balcom at home. Sriracha for Boca Juniors against Allianz Lima, who I think they rinsed in the first leg, at home. Ryan Gauld at home. Memphis Depay at home. Christopher Nkunku at home. We've got a game on Tuesday, which is tonight, in Nkunku. We've got 2 games tomorrow, Sriracha and Balcom. We've got a game on Thursday with Depay, and we have a game on Friday with Gauld. This just feels, there's a game every day of the week. They're all at home. They're all smashers. There's huge XP on them all. It's the one I'm the most excited to see how it runs out. This was the last team that I built, like the very last one, because Mitov is also playing Celtic, and I don't think Soler or Andrade are going to be starting this one. But the main, the meat and potatoes is the in-season contender stuff. I think the top 2 teams don't need adjusted or anything like that. And the third team, which I think is getting relegated to Division 2, this is something I need help with, actually. This game week coming, what division will I be in? Because they did make changes to the stuff recently, and I can't remember what the changes actually meant, or if they're still implied, or if it was for one game week or whatever. But both my D2s are getting promoted, which is lovely, and my D1 is getting relegated. So when I went to build these teams, I've picked what looks to be the D1 entry as last, because it should be, I think, in D2 for this game week, and then these 2 D2s should both be in D1. So confirm for me, guys, I've done the right thing here in terms of my team selections, what slots they're in. Let me know what I should be doing with that. 3 D2s in Classic, I think they're all fine. We don't need to alter that at all. And then it's in-season limited. Cammy Devlin was in my top team. I actually don't have any other in-season mids, which means I am going to need to take a classic mid, like a Saka or Achi. This is Achi is going to be playing now. That's not his team. Who does he play for? Toluca. Yeah, this doesn't have Achi starting, so I'm not going to move on that. But I think we move a Saka in here, and then we maybe need to take another limited defender, or maybe James Wilson, take one of those guys and move them across. So yeah, we need to do that. We need to ditch Devlin. Let's get a Saka in here. We've got time. We're going to do okay. We need to get a Saka in here. Arturo Saka, and then we need to drop Hatate out of this, and we need to bring in either James Wilson or one of those defenders, Adeboyega. I didn't actually check if he's on to play. I think he is. He is, yeah. Adeboyega Astley, I've not even checked if he's into play, but he missed a game. I'm assuming he was suspended because he's back. So we've got Astley away to Motherwell. We've got Adeboyega at home to Hibs, which has got Martin. Oh, do we? I'm thinking. Do we maybe go double Dundee defence? And then we're going to swap Boyle for Wilson. Or do I even give a fuck about that? Do I just play Boyle in here anyway? Boyle's at home. Boyle's away. He's at home. No, let's do that. They're all at home. That's lovely. I think we'll captain Casper on this one. That's the captain. No, that's not Captain Casper's the other team. Let's captain Ferry. Take some set pieces and stuff. And then this team now has been obliterated. Is there anyone in this squad we would want to use? I'm not too sure. We've got Astley for defence. We've got Boyle up front. We don't want to see people in other teams now. So we've got... And I've still got Trusty and Scales, which I've really tried to avoid using this game week. We don't want Devlin in this squad because we think he's dodgy. So I think it's only... Yeah, Achi from the bench is what we're after. Achi. Oh, we've got Kennedy as well. Is he going to play against Rangers? Unlikely, but he might. Let's go with Kennedy. And then we've got Boyle and we've got Classic Hatate. I think that's the move. Boyle and Classic Hatate. And with Captain Schmeichel on this one, yeah. Alright, let's see what you guys are saying. 10 mins, got me panicking. Sorry. Matty Kennedy, if you take the players out, it shows at the bottom. Yeah, it did say that, McBride. It did, like, concur. So I did see that, but I don't see it now. And I don't see any wee denotation of it anywhere else. We need a final fifth man. We're just putting Devlin in here, aren't we? Or Trusty. But if we put Trusty, we've got Scales. In the same team. Or Quan. Is Quan going to play for Hibs? No. Quan is more likely to feature, isn't he, than Devlin? Devlin appears to be out. Doesn't he? So I think we smash Quan into this. I'm going to keep Scales in here. I'll captain Scales because this is just like, it's the last team. Look at who I'm playing in it, for Christ's sake. So we're just kind of, if Scales plays, yay, we've got a captain Scales somewhere. And I did an under-23 team. We're getting a debut for Jaden Nelson, Guardiola, Ethra, Soboslai. We're in D1. And Ricky Lomas, I'm one step ahead of you. Josh Cameron, Chelsea are winning. And I'll tell you why Chelsea are winning. They're going to win emphatically. Harry Trades, McBride. There's lots of heroes and legends joining us for this one. I went and got a wee limited in Nkunku. £7 in season, £6 maybe. And I'm going after best of Europe. We went with Magic Mike in goals. I had no good choices. I don't think there's a great choice in defence for this. And Bruno at home to Ipswich just felt like the easy mid choice. But for the price of the Nkunku, we need to get into the top 50 to make it worthwhile. I think we can do it. Captain Palmer, I think we can do it. So, yeah, I think I'm all set. That Cammy Devlin thing gave me a bit of a jump. I've got one more team to field, but it is all duds and non-likely to play guys, I think, isn't it? So I can still put Trusty in a squad somewhere. Yeah, I've got all my teams. Guys, 16 lineups. 16. It's going to be 17 in a second. Yeah, that's it. Let's just hide this. This one's already in D2. So we've got O'Hara left over. He should be playing against Rangers, which might not be great. But he's my last choice of goalkeeper. We've got Trusty, who we've not used yet, so we might as well put him in. And the midfield is done. I'll be having nobody else in midfield. McGrath won't play. It doesn't sound like Devlin's going to play. Ideguchi's not going to play. It's maybe Quan from the bench. Johnny Kenny. And I'm probably just going to put Greg Taylor in. Captain O'Hara for the banter. Shut up, Harry. Don't even do that. Harry's saying CCV's out. Should we ban Harry from the chat? Will we ban Harry? Can we do that? Yeah, hide user on channel. Put user in timeout. Can we do that? Put user in timeout for 1 minute. Right, Harry, you're on timeout, buddy. Harry Trades has been timed out. His messages have been deleted. Right, guys, help me out. If I fucked something up, tell me about the promotion relegation thing. I need to find a replacement for Ida. Yeah, do you not think Ida's going to start? I think most people think it's probably not going to be him starting back. He's definitely going to feature, isn't he? I think that's us in deadline. Harry Trades is on timeout. Trying to kill me with a Vickers fear at the end. Harry Trades. What we like. That's us in. We're live and loud for that. So we'll be back later tonight as well. I'll sit and chill with you because we've only been on for a little bit. I'm having a bit of fun here. But we did well, guys. We've got an MLS video coming out, so I'll break down all this in a bit more detail. But we've got some cards, a box, which is cool. I'll tell you what, we've actually got some boxes sitting here anyway. We're going to get 17 Essence tonight. I guess we'll save this for tonight. Free Harry. Can't wait for his timeout to end. How long did I put him in it for? Was it 5 minutes or 1 minute? I've forgotten already. I suppose the software doesn't know about Harry being timed out when it comes to Friday. He'll have served his time out by then. And I meant to say to Harry on Friday, by the way, because when we were chatting about Elena and all the rest of it, I end up getting a classic Elena on Friday for 20 quid. I was just like, fuck it. I'll be raging if he starts to go on a tear now. And he didn't do that great. I didn't get to use him anyway, but we've got him. We might use him this weekend, which is fun. And we've got 2 cards to give away here that Shane donated yesterday. I think I'll maybe give one of them away today on this show now, and we'll maybe do another one tonight or something like that. Guys, I'll tell you what we'll do. I've been begging, guys. I have been begging today on the internet, everywhere. On my YouTube, I've posted it. I've posted it on the Satara here YouTube. I've posted it on Twitter. I've even reached out to the members, okay? But the overlap has had another episode go out, like they do every week, of course. Where is the community tab? Or where's my posts? Podcast, playlist, member. Posts, there we go. I put this post out earlier today, right? Now, if you see the latest episode of the overlap, they've got a little pinned tweet here. Please spam this for me. Tag at Here Celts, because that's the Celtic page we're representing, of course, and say get Quinny back on or something. Spam it like mad, but and get us involved. Try and get us back in for a second show. I've left a wee funny comment on their video already anyway. But yeah, if you haven't done so already, check out this week's overlap fan debate and get into the pinned comment they've got there and try and get your man Quinny back on it. It would mean a lot to me, guys. And Harry's back. Harry's back. Barry Ferguson to my daddy. What I'll do is I'll go through the pinned comment.
He only won 2 Premier.
I'll go through the pinned comment, like not now. I'll give you time to go and do it, right? But I'll go through and literally I'll be able to find you. It won't be that hard. I don't know how many of them there will be. Ringo Starr. I think a few of you have jumped on this already because I did see a few of you mention me, which is lovely. But get tagging, Mini Me, love that. James, Disjoined Llama, love it. Connor Aspel, love it. Where's the Exit, love it. But get tagging Here Celts on it. Or tag me. I'd rather you tagged Here Celts, but because we're there to represent the Bonnie Blue. And yeah, so spam that up. But get tagging at. So if you want to do it, like when you come into the thing, Celts are here is Here Celts. That's the way you need to tag it. It doesn't come up here, but that is its tag on YouTube, as it were. So get tagging away, guys. What happened under 23? Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Does anyone know why I got promoted in the last game week but stayed in the same division in Prem in season? Yeah, that's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about with my teams. Just to check, am I right in thinking you still get passive XP? You only get XP, Josh, from any team that's been deployed. So if the guy is not in a team that's been deployed, there's no XP. Now this makes it, I'm now shiting myself that I've put my worst team in Division 1. It updates at 8 p.m. That's fucking weird. Why would it update at 8 p.m? It's freaky, isn't it? It doesn't sit right with me. I've not really got anything else to kind of judge it against, but yeah, it's freaky. Yeah, blank lineups, no, won't work. You need at least somebody needs to be playing. Dobbsy says it updates on rewards. Yeah, I know it will send us down a tunnel and stuff, but I find it hard to imagine that this is going to update. Like, these teams are locked in the division now, is the way I feel. I will be upset. I will be upset if I've got my two best teams in Division 2 and not got a good team in Division 1. £400 at the top of that, and contender D1. 1200. Like, I will be raging. Like, if this is upside down, I'll be none too happy. So I do think, like, see, on that note, Josh brings up an interesting one in terms of XP and all the rest of it. Now, in the Celtic strategy I've got on the go, it's kind of obvious how I'm trying to max out XP by having extra, like, you could do this with limited keepers, but I've just ended up having that many rare keepers come to me over the last few months, where I'm listing, I've got 2 Schmeichels, right, but I've got 10 rare keepers going out in this division to cover rare and limited, etc. But in a similar vein, so either buying, if you're a rare player, maybe just buy a couple of limited goalkeepers, or you can use the Baraza line, as I call it. So you get a guy that's a backup keeper that's a pain, or you look for a goalkeeper position that's a pain in the neck, like Hradecki and Kovar, or Ravaglia and Skorupski. These kind of goalkeepers that are backups. Van der Voort could be one as well, and they randomly do play, and it is impossible to forecast when they play. Having some of those goalkeepers for your last team that you build, your throwaway squad, at limited, at rare, no matter what scarcity you're playing, is a tactic now, 100%, because you can get the random situation where they do play, and then you're off to the races. Like this John McCracken was essentially put in. I had no idea if it was going to be him or Carson, and this team would have just got some XP anyway. It didn't do any different. 9 points off a reward. If this guy did not get that 3 goals conceded, it might have worked out a little bit better for us. But when he does play, I'm like, oh cool, this team's off the ground, it's got a chance. It's not just going to get XP, but maybe this cap 270, maybe we can jam our way into it. So I think for any of you that are struggling to get passive XP or get your players exposed to maximum XP, cheap limited goalkeepers, if you're a rare player, or really no matter what you're playing, those pain in the neck backups, those guys that will randomly start, or the ones that are pending a return from injury, are the way to go it. I'm in the same boat. Put my best team in Div 2 as it got promoted and my D1 get relegated. Yeah, Dobbsy, it sorts itself out, don't worry, says Charlie. Oh, good. Opta could still update. And Harry Trades is chasing the likes down, guys. We've only got 27. There was a bunch of yous here that were here for the Silence and Harry campaign. A few of yous have went off now that the game week is locked in, but it's good to see a few of yous are still hanging out. I'm not too sure what else I would... That goalkeeper thing was a little thing at the back of my head. I wanted to at least get off my chest at some point somewhere. I was so close to absolutely crushing it this game week. I was saying to Harry on the deadline show that I felt that a lot of my teams were works of art. And yeah, someone's came through a big pile of shite over it. For some of them anyway. Yeah, so close. We had some good scores. We just maybe missed a wee bit of the total 5 combo, didn't we? But a lot of good decisions made, a lot of nice scores. Some guys just didn't turn up, and it's a little bit of whatever. You can't really do too much about it. Hey Pranksy, good to see you. These decisions should be sorted at least an hour before lock. Yeah, that would be helpful, Kerry, so we can visually see. Charlie says it's nothing to worry about, so we should be fine. And I was going to say before I kind of got distracted and stuff like that, should we be banning Harry again for saying Barry Ferguson till I die? Which absolutely ended me. That's a funny one. So I've got an MLS Road to Glory video coming out later today, so I don't really want to talk MLS right now because that video's sitting there ready to go, and I'll probably flip it live at 4 o'clock. It's 10 past 3 at the moment, so that'll be out kind of shortly. We'll be back tonight about 7 to do the little bit of rewards I've got. I wonder if Harry's won anything. I know you're here, Harry boy. Oh, Harry did. Harry's, yeah, I knew there was some. Harry's won it all. Harry's on the form of his life. Winning under 23 super rare, and now is it champ rare? Oh yeah, Harry hung on. Champ rare. Classic champ. Harry trades. Never thought I'd see the day. What a beauty of a team. Sabitzer, Modric, Klaus. This is a proper Sorare team, isn't it? Harry, I don't know if you're recording this or if you're going live. If you're going live, I'll definitely second wheel that with you if you're up for a bit of co-pilot action, have a bit of banter tonight. If you're going to record and go out, I'll maybe just go live and have some fun with it tonight. With a few of those cards we've got to give away as well, and I'll be checking out for giveaway on the overlap thing if any of you want to support us. Harry should have been banned a long time ago when he signed Mason Greenwood. The daggers are coming out. Any massive DNP news? Arthur Nice. I think the only one that I even wouldn't consider it massive was Cammy Devlin. It was just a lastminute.com one that threw me through a loop. And I think ever since I've won that guy, I've only been able to use him once. Mr. Under 23 feeling winning with a Modric feels weird. Yeah, well, that's how Harry Boy rolls. You need to mix the under 23s with the guys like Modric to help them get those SO5 scores, to help them XP up quicker, you know. Great captain choice again. He had 2 100 captains to choose from. So huge GGs to Harry Boy. Love that. And let's have a wee. That's what I was going to do. I was going to check the history of these cards. So this wee Modric has won nothing since joining Harry's gallery, which is kind of fun, isn't it? None of those rewards are that great, right enough. A wee bit of freshie. Sabitzer, I'm interested in. So I know you've not had that long. Yeah. So it's the first reward that's won you. It's not really won anything great besides that. Sabby's not really been up to much. Kingy. So he's won you Eustachio already. He's actually been a part of some decent rewards for Flair, Sunny, and Roxy. Interesting. And what about the Klaus boy? And I guess we're going to check for Bruggen just because we're being super nosy. Ooh, it won Cap 240 rare, this Klaus. It won someone a Threes and a Navas. That's fun. Nothing else really besides. But yeah, that Klaus has banged before. And 17-year-old Verbruggen. Speedy Jata. Marius Broholm. Owusu Waduro. Soboslai. Anthony. Man United Anthony? Yeah. Spikic Donnarumma. This is all for you. Wow. Well, not all for you. Game week 348, it was with Dars 83 before being passed about a little bit for some thresholds and whatever. Owen Jenny? That's funny, isn't it? That's the guy's in MLS now, isn't it? Yeah, that's so funny. It's funny how things work in Sorare, isn't it? Fun team, Harry. Fun team. Biggest accolade? Oh, maybe Klaus. Klaus has won Cap 240. I don't think winning Cap 240, but compares to winning Champ Classic D1. So, the biggest honour of all these players' little career. I named my bearded dragon after Luca. I love that. Thanks. That's podiums in. Yeah, should be on the podium. Arthur, nice. Love to see it. Harry's on fire. Do you think it's a snowball effect? Yeah, I do think so. I think Harry can speak to this for himself, of course, but I definitely know for myself. Like, it feels like I always talk about it with my club. Like, you go on a bit of form, you just bag wins, and a big part of the kind of the banter on the comment on the content I used to do was how many we've won in a row, like how many game weeks we'd pulled in like decent cards or whatever. And I think the record was like 12 or 13 in a row, and that's going midweek and weekend. So like you need to scroll right far back to we've seen runs like that, but it definitely does. It's definitely punches and bunches. You can definitely see it with your own scores and your own teams once you've been playing long enough that your key guys hit a bit of form. Maybe some of the tertiary guys around it come in and out. And Jesus man, back when I used to win limiteds, there's a period where I was winning limiteds and super rares all the time, but not rares. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Not that the super rares were much high quality or whatever, but yeah, I definitely do feel there's a punches and bunches element to this, because I'm just trying to see. Yeah, I think this was a good run we went on when we won World Prowse and stuff, where we're looking at game week. Yeah, World Cup ended, didn't we? So that's when all these are all World Cup cards. World Cup ended, game week 330. We finished first and got Balikwisha, and then we've went on from 330. 331, 332 for this row here, 339 for this row up here, 347, Carlo Holsa 347, James Ward-Prowse 347 for finishing third. An All-Star Super Rare that was, Rafi G, Laderos, and that's like over a period of, it's kind of spread out now, but with some of these, but yeah, not much overlap with the cards. Yeah, a Challenger as well. So it's just like, yeah, it's not necessarily, in my case, it's been like Works is on an L5 of death, or Celtic are crushing it now or something like that. But Harry's is actually, yeah, Harry's right. He's got different players in these teams popping up for him. Everyone's won a Lassa Sean. If you've not won Lassa Sean, then what have you been doing? Where was mine? I've definitely seen him some. 2 Rafi Guerreros I won that season. That's funny. Joseph Martinez, and that, I should have kept that. It's just a fun card. Did it win me anything? Nope. But yeah, Lassa Sean was in there somewhere. And right after I won Pablo Mari, he got stabbed. If any of you remember that. He got stabbed going to the supermarket or something. Which is just crazy. And Levi Colwell. Again, I'm just looking at stupid reward. Jonas David, did I win him twice? Yeah, I did. Didn't even notice that at the time, or maybe I did at the time, but first time realising it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else too exciting to see here other than Unique Martin, of course, and Jason Sika. 409 was a good one. We won Taki Kubo in that game week as well. But yeah, for me, it's, there's that Gilbert guy who's alright in Serie A now. It's so funny, isn't it, if you just kept some of these guys a little bit longer, then we had done not too bad. I remember being super raging when I won this guy for 5th. It was cat mode, but so it's a little bit of whatever, isn't it? Matthias Lamborda. Is he even playing? Oh, he's played a few times now. Oh, he's at Verona. What a surprise. Verona love signing guys like him. Little prospects that have been tossed onto the scrap heap. But yeah, I'm just looking at pointless rewards now. Maxwell. Oh, Harry, best pound for pound Sorare manager. Now that is a title, and that's a title that best pound for pound. I think Harry's definitely in great form this season. But when you say best pound for pound, I think one thing Harry's always been great at is getting the most out of his pound for pound. Like, I go through streaks of being okay, of not winning, of then hitting hot. Harry's a lot more proactive. Does buy a guy for a midweek. Does kind of roll with the punches, as it were. So I think I would say Harry is my favourite Sorare manager for like rolling with the punches, like adding a guy, dropping a guy, and that kind of thing. But best pound for pound is a little bit different, I think. Like, best pound for pound could be like a limited player that's, I don't know. I don't even know who I would give that title to, is kind of my point. Harry's maybe the closest contender, but I think Harry's more, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, I know he's here obviously, but yeah, I think Harry's probably the number one proactive manager. Like, I know the term is Gator Guy in it, but like, it's kind of really Harry's game. I know Gator Guy's been fine at that stuff, and he's became the kind of the trope of it all. But I think about people doing that and actually winning. Harry's always I bought this guy, or had a team out for, I needed a guy for the midweek, and Mr. Midweek, and all that chat that comes alongside it. So definitely a contender. And yeah, I'm just looking at pointless rewards still. I don't really know why at this point. I've actually won quite a lot of in-seasons, haven't I? Like, this year I've not done too bad. The quality isn't that great, but just having a wee glance across it. That's decent enough, I guess, isn't it? But yeah, I was having a glance into. Oh, I wonder if at the weekend do we have MLS open yet? Been waiting for MLS to open to see the divisions, to see what the rewards look like, but they've not done it yet. They'll probably do it they'll probably do it 2 minutes after we go live. I think I used to do that when I had a much smaller gallery. I don't think our gallery's really changed in size much, but Harry, has it? It's just that it was a lot of it was like in high value under 23s, and now it's maybe just kind of like spread out a bit more. But you know your gallery better than me, obviously. Quinny is the best penny for penny. Sorry, I'm a penny pinching bastard. I don't mind admitting that. And when you say pound for pound, like that's, see, when this conversation comes up, not that it comes up often, right? But I do hold myself out as like, I do feel that with the money I've had, I would challenge anyone to have like continually went through all the changes. My gallery value obviously has went down over the years because that's just kind of the way things have went. But I have fought against the tide. My gallery value is quite high compared to where like other galleries have been that have like thrown in the towel, sold up, or some of the ones that have just let the waves of change wash over them, as it were. And yeah, I'm not the most prolific. I don't win all the time. I don't win the biggest stuff all the time. But I think with the resources I've had over this whole time, like I think I've done as pretty much as good as you can get. But that's kind of, and again, it's been weird because I've kind of chased like super rares and uniques, and now like for the last year and a bit, they've just put the final nail in the coffin for that. And in saying that as well, like this weekend here, I was really looking at super rare, thinking like, is it killed me as much as I think it has? And when I look, I didn't really look at the leagues, but when I look at my cards, like my cards can all score points. I said this at the time, and some people were saying to me, they weren't saying it directly to me, looking at you PSU fans, but they were saying things like, oh, maybe your super rares aren't good enough. Listen, like my super rares can score good enough points. The trick is combos. And when I look at this, right, let's imagine just one small difference. Let's just imagine this team had Mandanda in it. We don't even need to think about Skorupski not getting rotated. Let's just imagine Mandanda went into that squad. We get an extra 79 points. I would have only got 4 essence. And that is like quite a good team. Like a nice captain pick, strong defender. And if we had Mandanda, like a goalkeeper, and the 80 on the midfielders is borderline acceptable. I think like for this type of play, like look how far you are off the top. 215 points away from the top. Add in that Mandanda takes away 80, you're 150. So I'm 150 across 5 players. 30 points extra average to be top. I think with multi-entry, it's just fucked. Like that is, and I seen, was it just Mike? It was a friend of the community anyway. It may have been Gaza or DD or somebody. I'm sure it was just Make It, but somebody smashed it. Somebody smashed it this game week, which was great. But it feels really lottery ticket element to me now. I put the in-season team in for the fuckets, really, because I didn't have much depth options. I had a feeling Dimitrovic wasn't going to be a great pick, but it feels like insurmountable. You know, like my idea with Super Rare was to try and win better cards and buy cards that other people didn't value that were okay, to try and then gain an edge on them in some different ways. But like with multi-entry and everything else that the game has at the moment, I just don't see it. I'm actually kind of close to selling my super rares, but I really don't want to, because there's so many of them are level 20. So many of them have got XP bonuses on them, like collections. Even if it's like 2% or something at this level, it certainly makes a difference. I've got that Girona collection, which has 6% multipliers on them all, because of the full super rare collection and whatever. Yeah, they did shit at the weekend. They're playing Real Madrid. I think we knew that. And there's a bit of chat here. Yeah, Harry's. That's the one thing about Harry's Road to Glory, which is really good, is it started with like a finite budget. Whereas when I'm doing Road to Glory, it's kind of like the journey we're on, kind of thing, rather than start with a budget and do the hustle. That's kind of what I tried to do with Zero to Hero, but it's kind of evolved into special weeklies attacking now and doing that same kind of thing on a budget. Any giveaways today? Yeah, we'll do some giveaways later today. But not on this one. You make your own luck, obviously, by recruiting and holding the right cards and selling other ones. Thanks very much for the kind words, Agent Cooper. Really appreciate that, mate. But what was I kind of saying there? Oh yeah, about super rares and stuff. So yeah, like I don't mind hanging on to essentially my lottery ticket, which is like 60 super rares for another little while. But if I don't get much sign of, like, maybe this was a strong game week, I want to look at the next couple of weeks and see if it still feels like that. But it's like, fuck, I'm asking for 490s or 480 raw scores to be in amongst it, then I probably will. I probably will throw the baby out with the bathwater on the supers in a couple of weeks, to be honest. Again, like, decent scores. They're not amazing. How far were we off anything? What was this? Champ. 350. Oh, this scored actually better than the other ones. So there we go. This is a better example. 383, decent amount. Not very many decisives, actually. I missed the Borja Mayoral scored this weekend. 28 points off the Essence. And really, like, with these teams, what's the best case could have happened is I got 2 Essence catches. So I'd get 8 Essence. How long is that going to take to transform into something meaningful? Hard to know, really. Rivals love in the chat. Love to see it. Love to hear it. But yeah, and I'm a wee bit gutted. See, with this team, I put Amiri in it because I didn't want to play 5 in seasons for some fucked up reason, and I took Pascal Gross out of it, and Pascal Gross went into this anti-stack lineup, which finished in the top 2%. Connor Hazard and Captain Larson let me down. If I'd captained literally anyone else, would have done so much better. But when I seen Gross ripping it there in that score, I thought I should have just played 5 seasons in here. Who cares? Quinny, that's what you're always preaching. Practice what you preach, mate. Who cares? And we would have jumped up into... would we have got cash? No. But we would have got some more essence at least anyway. And with Como beating Napoli, by the way, this week Como stack is fun. Asan Diao scoring again. I messaged Harry earlier on. It looks like Real Madrid are going to exercise their buyback clauses for Nico Paz. So we're going to get Nico Paz cards next season. And Miguel Gutierrez is going to go back to Real Madrid. Agent Cooper, yeah, you're probably onto something there in terms of selling them into new in-season demand. But I just don't think Classics really... Like, I don't really think there's a good time of year to sell them, to be honest with you. Like, I think my best hope with this, and I've not given it much thought, but I would probably just list everything that's not La Liga and just keep it listed until it moves, and then when it's gone, I'd probably just wrap all the La Liga stuff up and bundle it to any interested parties, really, because I don't want to sell the Girona guys one by one, because that's a full collection that should add value to the shitter cards in the package deal than listing them on the market. And like Saganikov will get sold, and Miguel Gutierrez will get sold, and then I'm left with, dud defenders and whatever. So yeah, you're onto something there, but I think there's a bit of a middle ground where, like, Coop Miners and Cunha and McGinn and these kind of guys, Skorupski, we just list them up in Sabitzers and Robos and whatever. Yeah, upcoming classics. So that one of the things I do still want to reserve judgment on is Essence, because we know they fucked Essence this year, and I would expect the leaderboard the next season to have different modules of Essence to pay out. So maybe it's still 4 in that category. Maybe there's a module behind it where it pays out 2. Maybe there's a little band just above it, but it pays out like 10. Because we know they've made a mess of that this year, and they are just in kind of damage limitation when it feels to Essence distribution for this year. And come next season, they should be learning from their sins of this year, the mistakes they've made, and that could look totally different. So that's the one reservation I have, right? But I'll share this with the few of you that are watching this, right? Because I've noticed something sneaky. There's only a few of you here. You haven't hit the... I'll tell you what, guys. Yeah, I'll just tell you anyway. But do us a favour. We're at 39 likes. Can we get to 50? We're going to end the show in a wee minute or two. Can we get to 50 likes? But one thing I noticed, right? If we look at Champ, Classic, everything's one division now, right? Oh, by the way, have I looked at something wrong? Because I looked at this before. It says 1400, 800 and 600 for the podium. I could have sworn I looked at this and it was not as much as that. That makes me want to look at in-season champ. 5 bags of sand. Yeah, that's a totally different kettle of fish up there. I don't know what I looked at, right? But I could have swore I looked at champ and it was a $1,000 top payout. And this was 1200. I could have swore La Liga's top spot was worth more than champ's top spot. Now, there's not much of a difference in it. I don't know what I've looked at to confuse me there. Oh, look at Kiss Me, Miss Me here. He's come in 5th and 1st. So, yeah. I thought there was a wee sneaky one there where they'd bumped up the leagues over the region. But I guess not. Yeah, I thought it was a wee sneaky thing, but I guess not. Another aspect people haven't realised is Essence is auto-claimed now. Yes, exactly. So, I've kept some boxes here on the shelf. We're just going to open them tonight anyway, but we're going to get 17 Essence. We've already got 3, so we're definitely crafting tonight. We've lost our limited craft, sadly, and we've got 5 boxes, so... And I think I'm now in the mind where I'm probably stacking my Essence. We might churn and burn, let's see. Yeah, if we don't get to... we're at 49 likes, guys, absolute heroes and legends. If we don't get to 50 by the end of the live show, there will be DNPs for somebody, hopefully not me. And if you're watching this after we've been live, you need to get us up to 67 or 88 likes, or you're going to get a DNP. Sorry. Should have had a disclaimer before you come into the chat. I don't understand. It may be because I'm new. Everyone says to not go into Classic when you start, but then surely it would make sense just to cash out your cards before they become Classic, Toby. Now, that's a great point. Everyone does say Classic is dead and Classic is this and it's that and whatever. And maybe Harry Trades was one of those guys not too long ago. Alright? But, so Classic is worthwhile, Toby, right? But the problem is a lot of people, like, this team, in theory, game theory, has no right to win. Collection bonus, like, Harry doesn't have a Real Madrid collection. He's got a bit of a Bayern thing on the go here with maybe a 2% rig out now, Harry, maybe 3, I think it's 2. And Bart is like an old card he's had for ages, right? But by all rights, according to the meta and all the experts on YouTube, not me because I've always been you've got to have Classic. You've got to have Classic. You can't just do one of them. You need to do both of them. It's my mantra and I'll die on it. Because a lot of people think, oh, you have to have the Real Madrid stack and you've got to have all the XP and all the rest of it. But it is an uphill battle. This is 529 points. I know there's an extra multiplier now, but it's so the thing with it, Toby, is buying Classic to get ROI is a fool's errand because it's so hard. But the game is to get Classic to give you in-season cards. Bottom line, whether you finish first or 100th for whatever, you want Classic cards that can produce in-season cards. And again, we were just looking at mine earlier. If you look at the in-seasons I've won, I've bought some, don't get me wrong. Maybe we'll look at Harry's. Maybe Harry's are better to look at. But if you look at the... look at that Yamal. Harry boy, look at that Yamal. But you want to win in-season cards from Classic to help your endeavour in-season. Now, if you have in-season cards that are depreciating in value, there is some merit in selling them and buying Classic equivalents. But my point of view on this is you should be buying in-seasons knowing the majority of them you will run next season as Classic cards. You'll have them on a high XP, you'll have them as a collection bonus, you'll have an understanding of the team already, the squad, the manager, whatever's going on, and then you kind of build around that from there. Oh, this team doesn't have a good midfielder, and let me go and buy a random Classic midfielder because they're not that expensive anymore. And essentially you want as little, and that's probably one of the things I think I've done very well in, you want as little attrition as possible. You don't want to turn over your cards all the time, where you're not compounding wins, you're not gaining XP, you're not making any long strides into season-on-season gameplay. Because as much as I've not been always totally happy with the changes that Sorare have made, almost none of them have made me bin everything, because I've always had that kind of longer view on my cards and on the game and everything. And I think when it comes to in-season, there's such an immediate term focus on it that Classic is seen as dead or redundant or pointless. But it's a very symbiotic competition where you will spend your budget on in-seasons. You now no longer have any more money. Yes, you can get some essence, you can do some crafting or whatever as well. But if you have classic cards that you had from last season, or you can buy on the cheap this year, is the less advisable move, of course. But next year, your in-seasons become classic. You've then got them to help you go and pull in more in-season cards as soon as possible. And I think my MLS is probably a decent example of that again as well. Where like these, I didn't buy any classic MLS cards. I bought goalkeepers in the end, obviously, but like they're already getting me some essence and getting some promotions and all the rest of it, and I could be on my way to winning some MLS in-season cards quite quickly. Would you recommend buying the bottom 3 Prem teams? I would not recommend that as a blanket thing, Craig. Relegation lover is that strategy, as we call it. I would buy the one team that you fancy to bounce back. They'll either retain the majority of their squad, or they're not going to sack the manager, or I would pick one, maybe 1.5 that you fancy to yo-yo. Because if someone gets relegated to the championship and finishes in mid-table, they'll be shit. You want a team that's going to fight for playoffs and promotion again, and that won't be all 3 of them. One of the teams will be disassembled, dismantled. I forgot what the word was there. Like Ipswich is probably a really strong shout. I don't think they're going to lose many of their players. It feels like they've built for a squad. Well, let's see how it goes. They're probably going to lose their manager. I don't know. There is a really strong strategy there, but I wouldn't blanket say anyone will work. You need to really keep your ear to the ground on who's going to sell, who's going to hold, who wants to bounce back, who doesn't give a fuck as much, So Samurai, yeah, they will go cheaper. So if you want it, so there's 2 things you've got. I kind of said it. I'll slow down, but if you're worried about their value going down, sell them, hold your money, or buy some classic equivalents. If you want to retain as much of your value, I can get behind that. But when you're buying the in-season card, you should be thinking about the entire of the in-season. And if you're selling early at fear of losing value, you're also losing opportunity to yield. Which is why I'm not big on that. Because if you've bought the card for the full season, maybe you've had it since match day 1, maybe you've had it since match day 10 or whatever, the season still I know it feels like the end of the season, but it's not the end of the season. There's still plenty of games to go. And then coming into Classic, you're going to be at a disadvantage at this point. Although by the time it comes into next year, you should be on par with the field-ish, and then you can get up and going. I personally would keep my in-seasons. If anything, I would maybe add to it to make sure it does something. So we're doing this with gallery reviews yesterday, but like Heung-min Son in-season card has never been more affordable, just to use him as an example. And then that's me set for Classic. I don't need to buy any Classic cards next year. The only thing I'm saving my money for, or I'm going to buy next year, is in-seasons. Because I've got all the Classics that I want. And maybe even in the off-season, when the dips happen, you maybe add in some Classic goalkeepers or Classic captains to just bolster your ranks. But that's my POV. I would rather hold the in-seasons to the very end, maybe supplement them a bit more to make them more powerful. And I wouldn't worry about the depreciating value of in-season to Classic, because that's kind of on the tin when you buy it that will happen. If you want to avoid that, which I know a lot of people said they were going to when they bought into in-season this year, then you're kind of looking at now over the next 2 weeks as your last chance to sell at a good spot before everyone tries to do the same, and there's not enough on the table for people to buy into. You're not going to get enough value returned. It will seem pointless. You'll be jaded. You might become demotivated, and then bad decisions happen. You sell guys at the wrong time, the wrong price. You pick the wrong lineup, the wrong captain, whatever. So just got River, guys. I think my plan is to keep for 2 seasons. Yeah, like exactly. You should have as long a view on them as possible. Now, maybe with the River guys, maybe your 2-season plan only really involves a core of the guys. Maybe you only need to, because let's call a spade a spade. When you've got a collection up to 5%, what a lot of people will be doing is overbuying. So look at my Celtic collection. Score is 1,000 points, right? When these guys go Classic, I can very easily go through this. Sell Naroki, sell Ralston, sell Kwon, sell Iwata. I can sell all the guys I don't care about. Get some money for them, keep the guys I do care about, and still have it at 5%, because a lot of people get to 5% before their 90-day bonus kicks in, So your River 2 seasons, you might know, once I've got my 90 days in, I'm going to go and sell that dross back out there, get some of that cash back. I'll still have the same XP bonus on the core players, and then we roll into next season. I think that's a good example. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I didn't want to stay on for too long, guys. I do have some IRL stuff to pick up with. I wanted to have a bit of midweek deadline action with you. I love the topics we've got into. And you know, when we come back live tonight, if I'm live or maybe I hang out with Harry, we'll see what happens. We could gladly pick up with some of this stuff. I think my Dynamo collection will be like that. Yeah, like, you definitely have to be proactive. You definitely want to make sure you get the most for your cards possible, whether that's resale value or utility or whatever. But I've been saying it on this channel since they revamped Sorare. Don't kid yourself that you can just be classic or you can just be in season. I've been saying it for so long, it's making me mental. You have to have both. Now, maybe you don't enter classic until you've had a year of in season. You know, like, I'm not saying you have to start both of them right away and you've got to get 3 lineups out and all the rest of it. But you will cross that bridge where you have to have, or you will have, a strategy that encompasses both, and you are then looking to maximize how much you can get out of that, and you're looking to minimize how much you spend on that ultimately. So yeah, I guess I'll leave that as my last word because that feels quite profound with my sideways hat. But yeah, we'll be back for some rewards action, maybe here, almost definitely at Harry's place, whether it's live or recorded. Harry will have some action tonight, of course. Celtic are playing Aberdeen tonight. Maybe there'll definitely be some action on the channel later tonight. We've got an MLS Road to Glory video that'll be out in 20 minutes. Thanks everyone who tuned in live and loud. Good luck this game week. Good luck with rewards tonight. Stay out of trouble, and I'll see you later on today. Take care.
Bye-bye.